Now, if you remember all the test equipment I had bought on Craigslist, I never really quite explained why I bought the test equipment. Right here I've got my Ampex 354. Right there I've got my Heath kit, which I did not get out of off of Craigslist. Got my Heath kit, I got my scope, some power supplies, got the vtvm, I got the tube tester, and I still have to clean off the top of the bench there. I still have to clean off the bench itself. Now this speaker laying here, and well, forgive me on this. Things are just quite a bit of a mess. But I've got the schematic here. I've got a couple copies of it, so I won't tear up the original or anything. I've had to mark stuff. And this is just the power supply on it and stuff in the schematic here. But you probably can't see it's got little little boxes, like it says plus 11 right here. And the problem I had with this Ampex was that every time I would put a signal into it, I couldn't get a signal back out, whether it would be from the reel-to-reel itself, or whether it was from the preamp. Well, first off, the reel-to-reel needs new heads. I mean, got to think where the should have a flashlight around here. Oh, come on, I got a flashlight or something. There we go. Got this kind of in the bad place. Got the vacuum hose sitting on it for my test bench. But the heads on it, I'm gonna have to get a flashlight to do this. Because if I can't get a flashlight, nobody's gonna see the thing. Ouch. Now, how the heck do you turn this on? Hey, there we go. Okay, let's look at the heads. If I can get it to the right angle. Ouch. Sorry about that. Now, let's look at the heads. You can see it's going to be really hard to not get glare, but so you can see them. You see that there's a huge amount of wear on the top, right here where my finger is. And there's like 3 or 4 different angles. And it looks, here we go, get the camera, I'm looking at the right thing. And it looks almost like somebody ran the tape up on the top of the head. And I don't know how it could have been done like that. Trying to hold the camera and do this. Now the gaps on the heads don't look bad. You can see the gap itself. But I don't think that's the main problem with the head itself. Let me get on the other side of this so I can kind of bend down, show it better. I've never been on this side over here of the test lab, whatever you want to call it. Let's try and like that. But the problem is that on either side of the shiny part, you see almost like a epoxy filler that's starting to show through. And these, you can see where they cut on the bottom, and you can see these large gaps sticking out, but you can't see the vertical gap on the head itself. So I'm not sure if these are good or not. They probably could be replaced, and they're probably not going to give me a whole lot of signal. But my concern is, if I fix this preamplifier, is it going to burn out or something due to the deck itself having bad heads? So that's my first concern, whether I burnt out the preamp running it with these bad heads on it, because I had bought the thing off eBay for about $400, which if you buy a working one, you can get a 350 or 351 that's stereo for about $1,200. And I wish I still had an eBay account, but I don't, because I'd probably pick another one up. But my concern is each of these heads is about $200. Then I need the test tape to align the heads. Sorry about that. Bit of the winter starting to really irritate my throat. Better turn on the humidifier. But as I was saying, $200 for each head, so that's $6. $200 for test tape, which is $8. And now I've got to try and align the thing with my scope. You look there, that traffic light type thing, that's a light bulb sitting in that for use it as a indicator to check the temperature on my soldering gun, because I've got a dimmer switch, and that way I know if I left my soldering gun hooked up. All this moves nice and free. The pinch roller's got a smooth, glassy feel to it, but I can clean it up and it's got a pretty good feel to it. It's smooth like glass, but it's not going to slip. These, being AC, I mean, these really had a lot of, I mean, you could turn this thing over and put the pinch roller on it, and it would move pretty well. All the tension arms are nice. This one's got a nice feel. The spin's nice and free. I have to re-cork, or at least glue this back on the cork, as you can see, on the reel tables. So it's going to need some work. As you can see, there's some scuffs on the aluminum. This is a cheap Ampex for me. I mean, I wasn't going to spend $1,000. Now, back to the preamplifier, getting to the real point of this. If I put a signal into the thing, just on the input, or in the head itself, I don't get anything. So I had to get a vtvm, a vacuum tube voltmeter, because I need a voltmeter that shows signal. None of my voltmeters, like this cheap one, shows it. So I needed something like that. I replaced this cap, I replaced this cap. That's power supply. I knew the power supply was bad because the caps are really crappy looking. We'll just say that. All the tubes are replaced. Should probably plug that into now. These are nice gold pinned. I think these are new old stock. Some of them, like the 4 here, I think are new old stock. 2 of these are RCA, and it's like a 12BH7 or something like that. I forget what tube it is. Yeah, 12BH7, I knew it. I got that from a friend who's got a whole garage full of tubes. He just gave the thing to me. I think he gave me a box of those. Somebody said that the EQ modules are probably bad. Well, I don't think the EQ modules are bad at all, because if I'm putting a signal in on the line input, I don't think it would be not showing up on the VU meter, because let's look at the schematic. I don't think it's in the signal path for that. Let's take a look here. You got your test points, you got your record head. Where's the EQ? See, EQ high-low, but line in, I don't believe it. No. I also thought that these switches would be bad on the front. The one still clicks pretty good. That one clicks. That one clicks even better. This one just kind of click, click. It's getting lazy. Now, I really don't think those switches are bad, because I checked them with an ohm meter and they were still showing up good. And I couldn't get a plug for the thing, so I had to take a cord and just solder it on and put some heat shrink over it with some little butt crimp connectors. Stuck the wire on each side like that, and then crimped them down and had them soldered in and everything. As you can see, I removed one of the heads so that I can put a load across it with a resistor and then just inject the signal into there. Now, I'm not sure if you can run this thing without heads without burning up the preamp. I don't know, maybe somebody could advise me on that to try and help me figure out why this thing is dead. So I think I'm going to power up the vtvm, see if that works. If that works, I'll probably get to work on this. And I mean, this would be the first real piece of electronics tube electronics I've really got into fixing it like this. I've never really fixed anything like this. I mean, I've replaced belts and stuff, but this is like the first major thing, so I'm probably going to have to ask you YouTubers quite a few questions here. Now, the other thing I got to thinking about, I think on it, let's see. See, stupid tape. Tape on the floor. See, if you're putting a signal in and you're not getting a signal back out through the head or through the input and output, I would start looking at what's in common. And you've got what's in common is this, the output circuit itself. So, because you've got your reproduce head, you've got your line in, but if you put a line in, and you get nothing back out, and you're getting nothing on the VU, let's see, here's headphones, so you get nothing there. You've got your transformer, you're getting nothing out there. Well, I would think it would probably be pin 1. Fuzz in my hand. Because, so I would think it would probably be maybe this cap right here, because I think pin 1's hot on this one. I think maybe it's that cap right there that I'm pointing at. Maybe that's shorted or something. Because, as you can see, it's in common with the headphone jack. It's all right there. That would probably, if that was shorted, well, no, it's, oh, there's your VU. So that's not right. The transformer has to be okay, I would think, because the VU is good, and the headphones aren't getting any signal either. Let's go back on it. So I guess what I'll have to do, and I've got my 6DJ8 someplace in there. Yep, right there. I guess what I'm just going to have to do is inject a signal and see if I can get something out. I mean, it's a pain for me. I wish somebody knew a little bit more about what was wrong with it, but just being on YouTube like this, it's going to be pretty hard to do. I have somebody help me with it. The only other thing I could think is that switch. You've got a 1 meg, it's 1/4 watt. So I'll check the output at the switch itself and see if that's not -6 dB, of course. Then we'll look in this circuit, or previous to that, if it's -6, we'll look in that circuit. Now it says -6 dB in reference to 0.78 volts. I don't really understand that. It says signal voltages measured with AC vtvm, vacuum tube voltmeter, expressed in decibels referred to 0.78. So I guess what, to calibrate this, I guess I'm gonna take 0 adjustment and crank it up until 0 is 0.78 volts. Or do I just inject signal into the thing? Here, zoom in. Do I just inject signal into the thing and hope it's close enough for volume, or what? Not really quite sure how that works. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll post this video on YouTube, maybe somebody can explain how this works. Is, like I said, I'm really quite new to electronics here. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you understand what that means. I'd appreciate it. I want to get this thing going again so that I can make some stuff up for you YouTube guys out there to take a look at. I do a couple videos on it. It's a pretty cool piece. Thanks.